So the cost of cars and payments, along with the economy, has forced a lot of people to face affordability as an issue with their vehicle. And you may be facing this yourself, where you have a vehicle with a high car payment. Maybe you're upside down in negative equity. But how did we get here? What is the reason why affordability on auto loans has gotten to be where it is? You see on the screen, we have an example of an 84-month, which is a 7-year car loan of $750 a month. We're going to come back to this in a minute to break this down and see how this payment got to be here on a relatively average car. This is an average car with a 7-year loan with $750 a month for a payment. And even the Automotive Dealers Association is seeing this. Car dealers are meeting, worried about affordability. Well, what are we talking about meeting? America's car dealers gather in Las Vegas this week for the biggest annual gathering, the National Automotive Dealers Association. And they're using the time to talk about affordability and press manufacturers for solutions. So the dealers are going to their factory companies that make the cars and say, hey, what do we do about this? The prices are too high. The cars are too expensive. There's too many cars. And this year, dealers have an overarching message to the manufacturers. We need more options for shoppers. Affordable options. The message is the same for every automaker. The president of dealer giant Lithium Motors, one of the largest dealer groups, says Honda must start thinking a little different about vehicle content and packaging to drive value for their customers. Another auto group says the same thing for Toyota. We just want to work and make sure that affordability is at the forefront. So dealers are looking at this. They're pushing manufacturers, but manufacturers may not have much room to budge. Here's another article about it. For affordability, lenders are starting to address it by offering 84-month financing. Look, this article came out February 17th. That's 3 days before I'm recording this. I'm recording this on February 20th. So just right now, this Auto Finance News is saying that lenders are adding flexibility for 84-month financing. And we'll see here in a minute, 84-month financing is here. But they're adjusting underwriting criteria to account for rise in demand for loan terms. Read that again. Rise in demand for 84 months. Vehicle prices rise, interest rates remain the same. TD Finance, one of the largest finance, leaned further into 84-month terms, saying that they're going to offer it for more cars than they used to. Used to be 84 months. You had to have an expensive car, great credit, big down payment. Now they're starting to do this for everything. Here's this loan we're talking about. 84 months, $740 a month. How did they get there? And this is all redacted. There's no personal information here. This person bought a 2016 Chevy Colorado. The selling price was $45,000. How do we know that? Well, it's $46,931, including $1,000 in tax. So take $1,000 off of that. So maybe $46,000. If you do a Google search right now, $46,000 is about the average price for a car. That's the average price for a car, is $46,000. So this is just an average car. It's not above average. It's not a cheap car. It's an average car. They traded in a vehicle that they got $16,000 for, but they owed $24,000 on that vehicle. So they had negative equity, $7,800. Not uncommon. This is what we deal with all the time at LoanExit, negative equity. They put down $1,000 in cash. There was a $4,200 rebate. But then there's some add-ons, right? There was a gap insurance policy for $500. There was another add-on for prior interest. There was VIN etch for $125. There's road hazard for $500. That put their amount financed back up to $51,000. That's how much they financed, even with a $1,000 down payment and a rebate. So they bought an average car with their negative equity and everything else. They're back up to $750 a month for 7 years. So for the next 7 years, they're stuck with $750. We're trying to work with this client to get them out of their vehicle to see if there's ways to reduce that payoff amount, increase their value, maybe cover the difference with some other type of alternate funding. But this is what people are seeing, 84 months. Why are we at 84 months? Because cars are not affordable. Problem in numbers. The average new car buyer spent a record $50,000 in December. So there you go. The average is $50,000. That last car we saw was below average. It was probably average at the time when they bought it. Full-size trucks, average $66,000 for a full-size truck, average. In 2017, there were 36 cars you could buy for $25,000 or under. Today, there's only 4. The last car that was available under $20,000 got canceled. New cars are out of reach for many Americans. Used cars are starting to become more popular. We'll talk about that in another video. But this is where the market's going, affordability. The only thing that can stretch is lenders are now starting to say, hey, we'll go longer on the term to stretch it out more. But the payment doesn't change that much. On a $40,000 car, if you finance for 5 years, which is a normal term, your payment's about $800 a month. If you finance that same $40,000 car for 7 years, your payment only goes down to $623. So you're saving $170, $180 a month, but you're going 2 more years. You're spending thousands of dollars more in interest, and you're going to be stuck in your car longer. So think about all this as you're getting into your car, and if you're already stuck in a car with high payment, look at our website, LoanExit, to see about how to extract from negative equity and maybe escape the loan that you're in.